Good morning, y'all. So this week's assignments are all going to be talking about representing and interpreting data. So that's just a fancy way of saying looking at graphs and reading them and finding the math. Okay? So before we start, I'm going to show you a vocabulary video. I know y'all like those. Okay?
Yeah, y'all. A lot of people talking about data. Yeah. Let's get into it, y'all. Okay. Let me kick off this conversation. What's data? Well, that is information, numbers, and facts telling you about something. Yeah. And there's a lot of different types, so let's jump in. Let's go. Data could be the number of kids who go to your school and what their shoe size is. Or it could be info about a thing like a book. What does it smell like, feel like, or how does it look? Okay. These are called an object's property. What you need to know to understand what it is properly. We can use data to get answers, like how many kids in your class are good dancers, or how do students feel about the new playground. There are two types of data, let's break it down. There's qualitative data, and that refers to an object's qualities recorded in words, and quantitative data that's measured in numbers, like something's height, weight, age, or temperature. Now when you're gathering or collecting data, then you're taking measurements and notes and making observations. And some data you can collect on your own. For example, that plant that you're growing in your home, if you want to know how much it grows each week, take a ruler and measure it, record and repeat. That's data. Yeah, the facts and the numbers telling you about something so you can understand what it is. We use data to learn and answer questions about the world as it turns. That's data. Data. That's data. Data. Whoa. Okay, so you want to find out information about a group, like all the students in the 3rd grade. All you gotta do is ask them a bunch of questions, and then you got yourself a survey. Ask questions that apply to the whole population. Every single 3rd grader in this situation. Say you want to know the average 3rd grader's height, but you can't ask them all, that would take all night. Take a random sample of 3rd grade kids. Random means they have an equal chance of being picked, which means the sample represents 3rd graders as a whole. And the larger the sample size, the more accurate the result. Now, once all your information has been collected, and you have all the answers to your questions, you have a data set. It has everything you need. With so many measurements, it can be hard to read, so we need to analyze it, present it in ways that demonstrate answers to any questions raised. You can organize your data with a graph or a chart. It displays different kinds of data like art, line plots, pie charts, and bar graphs are 3 ways to organize the data that you have. Make sure they have titles. And what else? Let's see. The X and Y axes must be labeled correctly. Make sure that you display the data in a way that tells the right story and what you're trying to say. You don't want to make a graph that makes all the kids laugh. When you're using data, you gotta do the math. That's data. Yeah, the facts and the numbers telling you about something so you can understand what it is. We use data to learn and answer questions about the world as it turns. That's data. Data. That's data. Data. Whoa.
Okay, so if you want to, you can watch that video again. You'll just pause my video and rewind back, okay? But right now, we are going to go over your assignment for today. So this one says representing and interpreting data. Now you have today, and if you don't finish it today, you can work on it tomorrow, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you the directions on each slide, and then we're going to go over a little bit of information on each slide so that you know what to do, okay? Just like we would do in class, I'd give you directions, so that's kind of what we're doing here. All right, so on this slide, it says what type, and it has line plot, picture graph, bar graph, okay? So just like in the video, all we're going to do is we're going to find our graphs down here, and we're going to sort them into which category they would go. So if you remember from the video, okay, let's click on this one right here. And when you want to click on something, make sure you're clicking on this little arrow that says select, okay? Ms. McAdams found that out real quick. All right, so let me turn that off. Looking at this one right here, okay? This is a line plot. Now, let me zoom in. When you look at it, you notice that there is a number line at the bottom, right? That is your clue that it's going to be a line plot, okay? Anytime you have a graph that has a number line at the bottom like this, and it has X's on top, okay, that is a line plot. And all those X's really mean are like this person, this is a person, this is a person, this is a person, okay? So that's a line plot. A picture graph. Now this word right here, picture, gives us a really big clue. This kind of graph uses pictures to represent data. So let's look at this one right here, okay? This is a perfect example of a picture graph because it has footballs, baseballs, soccer balls, and tennis balls that are used to represent the data, okay? So anytime you have a picture instead of a X like you do in a line plot, that is called a picture graph, okay? The last one we're going to talk about today is bar graphs. This one also gives us a clue. This word bar tells us that we're going to be using bars to represent our numbers, okay? So if I look down here and I pick this one, okay, this is a bar graph. Notice that there are different bars that are representing a number, okay? So anytime you have something with bars in it, you're going to be using a bar graph, okay? So all you're going to do is you're going to sort each of these into where they go. The next part says write the letter of each graph in your math booklet. Well, we don't have our math journals, so you don't have to worry about that, okay? All right, so let's go on to slide number 3. Okay, let me zoom out. And if you need to zoom in and zoom out, this button right here with the little magnifying glass is your zoom, okay? All right, so slide 2 says use the picture graph to answer the questions. Again, it says record your answers in your math booklet. You don't have to do that, okay? After you've answered the questions, you may put them over here. So what I went ahead and did is I took all of these questions and I put them on slide number 4. So if you want to, you don't even have to worry about each of these up here because I've already put them for you. Okay? All right, looking at our picture graph, okay? Our first question says, what does 1 pi equal? So I'm going to put that right here. Okay, now remember, every graph gives us a key. So if I look here at my key, okay, it says that each pi is 25 pies. So that's like saying this one's 25, this one's 25, this one's 25, this one's 25. So if I were to add all those up, think about your quarters. That's like saying 25, 50, 75, 100, okay? So that is 100 apple pies, okay? So when we talk about what does 1 pi equal, my key already tells me the answer. My answer is 25 because each one of these little pies represents 25. So what you're going to do, okay, is you're going to go right here and you should be able just to click. And on number 1 where it says what does 1 pi equal, you're going to put 25, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and read you the rest of the questions. They are right here for you, but that way if you need to, you can read the question, you can pause my video, and then you can solve it on your screen, okay? So this one says, how many cherry pies were sold? That's question number 2. And if you look, it's right here on question number 2, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and erase my math just because it's kind of getting in my way. All right, question 3 says, how many apple pies and chocolate pies were sold? Question 4 says, how many fewer pumpkin pies were sold than the most popular pie? So let's go ahead and do this one together, okay? What does that word fewer usually tell us? If we think about fewer, right, it's like we're saying we're looking for a difference. And when we're looking for a difference, that means we're going to be subtracting, right? Okay, so I know I'm going to be subtracting, okay? I'm going to be subtracting pumpkin pies, okay, and the most popular pie. So when I look at my graph, all the most popular means is which one of these pies has the most picture pies on it. So if I look, apple has 4, cherry has 5, pumpkin has 2, but chocolate has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my most popular pie is going to be chocolate. Now I have to figure out how many chocolate pies they sold. This is where I'm going to have to remember to use my key, okay? So if I look at pumpkin, remember this is like saying 25, 25, right? So if we did 25 plus 25, that would get me 50, okay? And then if I look at chocolate, remember each pie equals 25, so this is 25, this one's 25, this one's 25, this one's 25. And if you need to, you can use a hundreds chart to help you skip count by 25s, right? Or you can think about your quarters. So if you need to on a piece of paper, you can do 25 plus 25 6 times, right? Okay. So if I added 25 plus 25 6 times, I would get 150. Okay. So now all I have to do is subtract 150 minus 50. Okay? So when I subtract, 0 minus 0 is 0. 5 minus 5 is 0. 1 minus nothing is 1. So our answer to question number 4 is how many fewer pumpkin pies were sold than the most popular pie? So that would be 100. Okay? All right, again, I'm gonna erase my work. If you need to, you can pause my video and go back and see the work that I did. And if I were you, I would be writing this on a piece of notebook paper. Miss McAdams wishes she was writing it on a piece of notebook paper. This writing it on the computer is very difficult. Okay, so the last question I'm gonna read to you so then you can get to solving your questions. Our next question says, which type of pie sold at least 125? Okay, and the final question you're going to do, which should be pretty fun, is write your own question that could be answered using the data in the picture graph. So you can write whatever question you want. Does not matter. If you need help, I will be on Zoom this morning. So pop in, ask me a question. If you need to, you can also send me a private comment. Okay? When you're finished with this assignment, make sure you turn it in. Again, if you need me, don't hesitate to ask, okay? See y'all later.